Have you ever heard the expression, nobody ever got fired for choosing IBM? Younger viewers of this channel may not remember, but IBM used to be a truly household name. IBM is one of the oldest computer companies out there and was actually founded in 1911 as the Computing Tabulating Recording Company. It only became IBM International Business Machines in 1924. To understand just how far IBM has fallen, it's important to appreciate all that IBM has given us throughout the years. Did you know that IBM invented floppy disks, UPC barcodes, magnetic stripe cards, ATMs, hard disk drives, SQL, and relational databases in general were heavily pioneered by IBM. The first modern implementation of a RISC CPU design, as well as DRAM. In 2020, it made 73 billion US dollars and employed 345,000 employees around the world. IBM is ready with every type of product and solution, every type of consulting service for every industry out there, heavily emphasizing its career development and talent network. All that is well and good, and IBM certainly has a legacy in the computing world. But what is it like to actually work there? Here's what IBM employees had to say on Glassdoor.com. Work here at your own risk. Bullying, harassment, and layoffs every quarter are the social norm. Pros: none for software engineering people or their management. Salary is acceptable but doesn't help with the other issues. Cons: zero autonomy if a first or second line manager. Who has budget? No one knows. Layoffs every quarter. Massive outsourcing. No opportunity for technical advancement. Old technology, command and control management, the good leaders quit or are laid off. Advice to management: none. Jump ship now, it's never changing. Delivery project executive. Pros: I get a paycheck. Cons: company is adrift with no wind or rudder. Advice to management: not sure what middle management does, but I have not met with my immediate manager in over a year. An absolutely terrible experience. Pros: the few good/smart people who are desperately and actively looking to get out. Lots of parking spaces. Cons: zero company direction, politics that stifle progress and corrodes morale. A culture of that doesn't align with my checkpoint goals. Being right is far more important than doing right. An office design that hasn't been touched since 1979. Start over, IBM. You had a good run. Any monkey can do this, and they are the only ones promoted. Pros: IBM tries to train any idiot to do any job. It's a good place for interns because those are the only people IBM wants to actually employ. Be an intern, and if they give you a regular job, take it, but for no more than 1 year. Cons: they typically do. They've dumbed down and checkboxed everything so pervasively that people who work the desk at the DMV have more autonomy. All you've ever ordered to do is paperwork and process. The job doesn't matter. But because pay is so low and they have a million reasons why you never get an increase, the reality of being a monkey is liberating. Any job you do here is doable in about 90 days. But after that, it's just the same 90 days over and over. The real downside is if you make the tiniest mistake in your process, you will have 10 people chewing you out and complaining. Management isn't smart enough to take advice, or if they are, they're too arrogant to listen to it. This is a Darwinian snake pit where only the nasty survive. It's worse than you've heard and not getting better. Pros: some powerful products to sell, huge global reach, smart people. Cons: management is constantly changing directions. People policies that show how little the company cares about its employees. Policies dictated from corporate that make little sense in some business units. Ridiculous amounts of paperwork and corporate bureaucracy that make getting deals done near impossible. 24 approvals to release a simple price quote. Salespeople required to sell the hot product of the day, which is constantly changing and more often than not is vapor. Go sell it and then we'll figure out how to deliver it, which never works. Constantly changing sales targets and territories, continuous reorganizations make it impossible to get traction in any one area. Probably not going to have any presence in the US within 5 years. Pros: looks good on paper, big name. Cons, foreign CEO firing all US workers as fast as he can and selling huge swaths of the company to overseas buyers. Pawn on the board. Pros, none other than name recognition when seeking a career post IBM. Cons, it's understood throughout the company that everyone is always on the chopping block. The culture, productivity, and level of product service reflect that. Advice to management, get a clue. Toxic work environment. Pros, not a lot these days. They will pay high for technical hires because no one wants to stay. Cons, management and executives seem to be looting everything they can before the ship sinks. Everyone is fighting over the scraps. Constant hidden layoffs. Great and not so great. Pros, benefits were good. Meeting, working with, and cherished friendships made. Okay. Cons, finance/bean counters are running the company. Quotas go up at the same time as ability to hire subcontractors to actually do the work is removed, firing people at random for years and years on end, mostly older, experienced employees, and white. Shell company. This is someone who's worked here more than 10 years. Pros, none to speak of, period. Cons, a shell company no longer interested in serving customers with mostly offshore employees. I don't know how you sleep at night with the unethical way you run the company. Well, folks, that was IBM, one of the world's mega corporations, considered very prestigious by new graduates. If you've worked there, let us know if these reviews sound real or exaggerated. And as always, thank you for watching and subscribe for more.